Today is Thursday, January 22nd, and it is 6:05. Our invocation today will be given by Judge Jimenez.
Lord, we sincerely thank you for getting us together this night. You know, considering that the weather is not what we would really like to have, but we thank you for getting us together. We hope that you help us make the right decisions, and we sincerely thank you for all the blessings that you give us every day. And may we make the best decisions again, Lord. Thank you.
Amen.
We have an established quorum. It's Councilman Ortiz, Councilman Tejada, and Councilman Guerrero. Now at this time, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, at this time, do we have any citizens' comments? Okay, with that, we're going to get started. One, discussion of goals and objectives for 2015. The first board that we're going to cover is 4A board. Tonight's workshop is set up so that the councilman can have a chance to voice their opinions on how they think that each one of the boards should take direction, or if there's anything that needs to be changed, or maybe a new idea, so that Henrietta will have something to work with them. Okay? April, whatever suggestions will you write them on the board?
Yes, ma'am.
Just put 4A. Who wants to start? Councilman Tejada?
Mayor, if I may, I just said the first, because of time, I didn't want to do the PowerPoint presentation in your packet. Do you want, Mayor?
Yes.
In the packet, we have a list of the board members that we have actively now. They're listed there. There's one vacancy there. I have prepared in the packet later on, you'll see advertisements, so we can advertise for all open positions that you have instructed me to advertise for all of them, and we'll do so and have a deadline. Then on the next page, page 3, we've had discussions back and forth in reference to the duties and responsibilities of the 4A board. And they start at our budget workshop. It's changed over the years from what I'm finding out, and so I just wrote some interesting ideas in reference to what do you see, the council see, that they would like to give direction to the 4A board as well as staff as to how they want to go. Do they want their focus to be the financial responsibility regarding the debt? And that's going to be their main focus. Management of the event center, because I think that came up in discussion. They definitely even need a role as it goes with the community center.
And what is the current role? I know it has changed in the last few years, but what is the current role of the 4A board?
Currently, the last thing the 4A board was working on, and Ms. Connolly is here, I know from the 4A board, we've been working with their attorney who has resigned in reference to policies and procedures for the event center is where we left off. They did get a new amended schedule for fees approved by the council, and they had worked on that for some time, and they were looking at a policy and procedure in reference to coming in, because there's no rules really in reference to what you can do and opening and those kind of things, pay, claim fees and those kind of things. They have the contract, but they need a policy and procedure that they want to put in place. And I think we were on our second draft. Is it second draft? Mm-hmm. Our second draft in reference to do that. So that's what they were doing in reference to that. I know they negotiated with the Boys and Girls Club in reference to a contract that, footnote, it has expired. It expired in September. So she said a month-to-month kind of thing is where it's been, and they were trying to get their things going. Then they get really active in the lawsuit and the settlement, and spend a lot of time in reference to that, and that's come to a conclusion, which we presented later on this evening.
Mayor, may I make a comment on
Yes.
the event center or community center event? And I want to clarify that it's the Lado G. de Leon Center, not the community center
event center, and I believe we should at least pay respect to that individual who sacrificed his life.
Yes, sir, and I make that we refer to including his name.
From,
Yes, sir.
Do we
Thank you.
still have a record of individuals that applied for this position, along with what we will get? Do you have a pass list?
Yes, we'll get you a pass list in reference to the application of putting in. And I think Monica can put together as a whole packet. Some people are applying for more than one, so that we can get you the list that's already been submitted, and then any new ones, we'll get them. I was hoping to have sometime in February to be the deadline, so that it can make one of your February meetings.
Let me say this about the 4A board. When we purchased that property, I guess it's been 7 or 8 years ago, we bought about 100 acres of land. And it wasn't just to build the building, but there's approximately 90 acres behind there that is strictly to be used and developed for sports and entertainment. The way the bond is written, it can only be used for that purpose and for public and private investment. And whether we do it next year or 5 years from now or 10 years from now, I think the 4A board needs to have that in mind, that that's a piece of economic development property. You know, just like the Rancho Grande is. The only difference is over here, it's for industry, and this over here, the 4A, is strictly for sports entertainment. And it's for public and private use. So we could open up a restaurant that has basketball courts in there or volleyball courts. We could open up, we've talked about a sports park back there. And like I said, at some time in the future, that should be developed. And now with the downturn with the oil, let's look for opportunities to find ways to bring people into our community, to fill up our hotel spaces. You know, we have said this for a number of years. Let's make Floresville a place for people to come visit. So I think that has to be in our mind somewhere to develop that property. So we're talking about planning out the pieces, infrastructure. We have a rodeo arena back there that could be used, expanded for youth rodeos. So there's a lot of things we could be doing back there. There's a lake back there, 36-acre lake, I believe. It's right adjacent to the river that can be used for recreational purpose also, to bring people into our town. Yes, sir.
Is that 36 acres a part of the 90?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm guessing on the acreage, it might be more than that.
It's 101 point foot. I just gave you that.
101.3, you gave it to me this morning in reference to that. So if I'm understanding what you're saying, Mr. Tejada, Councilman Tejada, is that you want the 4A board to focus on bringing those type of activities to the center, or just what you want to see overall?
Not necessarily to start on the details of bringing something like that happen, but to start developing a plan regarding the water, the sewer, and developing that property, working with the developer to bring that type of industry into that area.
Is there any water
Yes,
going
ma'am.
back?
Where do we get the money for that?
Well, like I said, maybe not
The
next year.
The city's carrying it right now, so
The city is carrying what?
the city's carrying the civic center. It's paying all its bills and stuff, so I don't know how we can go forward with a great plan like that without money.
Well, I wasn't aware the city was carrying that.
Well, now you are.
It's always been like that.
Council, do you recall if there's when the land was purchased, we got water rights to where we could fill it like?
I don't
That's
remember.
not a trick question.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, because
Yeah, and
something we
Luke-
could research to find that
Yeah,
with the river, the proximity to where we could
yeah.
obviously fill it.
And when we bought it, it was full.
Well, it's just been the drought and
Yeah.
lack of maintenance. It's-
But that would be a great place for, I can imagine on a Sunday afternoon, some kids fishing out there.
Catfishing
Yeah.
or whatever.
Mhm.
That'd be a great thing to do.
But the first thing to do is start with a positive attitude, that we can do it.
But I understand, you know, it's not the dry weather, although that's a contributor, but it's got a flaw in it, right? We need to fix these, like, before you can actually put it up.
I think so.
A leak, if you will, whatever that is.
But some of these oil companies could probably help us with some of the stuff they do, like these rails, back at the bottom of that.
Bit line.
To stop the leak. Bit, yeah. Shoot rod.
So just an idea.
I think we need to also clarify, because I know that y'all been asking the same question, because one time they were told they were gonna manage it, financial and everything, correct? And then it got taken back away. Right now, I don't even know where we're at.
I don't know.
I know that the
We
city
had
has all
several
bills.
times and we were kind of treated like stepchildren, like, you know, why don't you just go there and sit down?
You see, and that's what we need to clarify, as to what is their position and what is their real responsibility.
Well, one of the things that's gonna come up quite quickly is refinancing of the debt for, that's gonna come up that we have to do in 2016, the first payment is due. 4A definitely needs to be functioning so that they can pass an agreement, that, you know, the structure, because they have to participate as well, and Victor Creel is coming out, and we wanna do a joint workshop. But also, they need to do an local agreement between them and the city, so that we could do it without them, but the best case scenario is for 4A to be able to do that. So part of responsibility reference to financial debt is gonna be key for the 4A board. We need them to do that. And as a side note, today, we get their liquor license, so as we transfer over to the city, we're not having that issue anymore. So the financial responsibility is definitely something that's gonna happen this year. What are the things that you wanna see them to do in management? It's something that I'm looking for direction, and I know they are too. If that's gonna be their only key responsibility, and maybe some other bigger projects, then that could be their focus going forward. So the day-to-day kind of thing, or management of it, if we're gonna rent it out more, those kind of things, I'm just looking for ideas and suggestions, because I'm not quite sure.
I don't see the 4A as being in charge of the day-to-day operations of the building. I would rather see the city staff be responsible for that.
Well, and I have no problem, I'm not trying to give it away to them.
Yeah.
It's just that I think that was actually a confusion part for us in reference to who was responsible for what and those kind of things. That's why we were trying to come up with the
Well,
policies and
at one
procedures.
time, we were all really gung ho and helping and going out there and kind of filling in, trying to work with Boys and Girls Club and various and sundry things, and it just seemed like that we couldn't, we were being undermined when we were trying to put down, you know, like doing leases and things like that for the Boys and Girls Club. Several different things that I've just forgotten, because I just thought, I'm sick of thinking of it, sick of being pissed about it. So what the 4A board wants is some direction, please, what you want us to do. I know there's $875,000 that we won on that suit.
Yes, and that is definitely going to be one of the things that M&S is coming to present, reference to what we're going to be able to do going forward. Try to send it to you, the email, if I didn't, I'll send it to you again, but we have copies of it, the presentation we can give to you. So what we're trying to do is to say that lawsuit money, what we want to do is to make the repairs and to do some of the repairs in reference to do that. It sounds like we're going to be able to do a lion's share over them all, if not some of them, but definitely the key ones are the roof and the HVAC and those kind of things. So those kind of things is what I've been working with, and we've just reported to you, and I'll send it to them as well, but I will give it to Ms. Conley tonight, so that you all have it, so everybody knows what direction to do. We're gonna use all of that money to make those repairs. That's the goal. But they knew going in, it wasn't enough to cover everything.
Right.
But we wanted to say definitely those are the key things that we wanted to do is in your packet, those key things we wanted to do, the roof, the HVAC, some of the painting, because we have some mold issues. Because there's 2 or 3 rooms we can't even use because we have mold issues. There had some leasing people that were leasing some rooms and renting some rooms that we had to actually not lease or rent anymore due to the fact that there's mold in those rooms.
Henrietta, what's the status on that contract with the Boys and Girls Club?
The status of the contract is that it is expired. It expired actually October 1. And so she is in a month-to-month type of thing. She will typically, Ms. Bulk will typically come and ask the 4A board to approve her calendar for the year. She came to me in December, and I could not approve, all I could approve for her was 1 month. So we're just doing it 1 month at a time until you tell me, or the 4A board tells me, or whatever decides how the residents are gonna be able to do that.
Is the YMCA still interested in there?
The YMCA, I met with them, they're meeting with Livernia, and they're looking to do a standalone building, not
Or
what,
they're not used to it?
yeah, they wanna build, and they're trying to think about a joint kind of thing. So the big question with the YMCA is, will they come here? Will people from Livernia come here? Will people from, they build here? Will people from Floresville go to Livernia? They don't know about both sites, and actually, Tommy Baker, allowed me to sit in on those meetings for him.
And I have a real question. With the Boys and Girls Club, do they usually just pay almost nothing? Is that the way it's done, you know, in other parts of the country and other different cities? She has a lion's share of that, and we pay for everything for her. Rent, you know, essentially rent free. Is that the way it's, is
I
that the way
think
it's
in
done?
most
can
cities,
accept
I
that.
think it is all set up like that, or they provide a facility for them if they want them to be in, like San Antonio. They have a building, but they also raise money also. So I think every city's different.
The copy of the Boys and Girls contract is in your packet. It expired, and they pay a fee of $500 a year. And they have use of predominantly at Fair Trade, say the gym, office back there. It's right after the event center, right after Page.
Quite often, things get bumped, so the children can have a place to.
They run a summer camp there. Ms. Volk has asked me on several different occasions in reference to expanding it to an after-school program. I am not inclined to do that. The school has after-school programs. I don't think it should be at the.
And that was one thing that's very frustrating, because as the board, at first, we were asked to, can you please make money for this outfit so we can pay the electricity bill? And then we kept getting trumped with the Boys and Girls Club interference with.
Per the terms of the contract, they're supposed to be subordinate to if there's another event out there.
They're supposed to be, that's my frustration.
Has that been a problem, have you?
Yes,
Yes.
She is not moved over when there's something else?
correct. There has been,
So what has the 4E done about that?
We've had our power strip. We can't do anything.
It's been a power struggle between the
They don't know
two,
what they're supposed to do.
because, you know, how much she can and cannot, and even when, I think there was some kind of confusion, and we needed to have it in there for, I remember a oil company that was here, and we asked her to relocate, and she didn't relocate and set up anyway, and then they had to send people out there to tell them that it's been a power struggle.
Especially when she has something to schedule months in advance, she can't do it. I mean, she might be doing it, but then we can't schedule anything because if she's already scheduled,
Yeah.
she needs to be back.
And so what ended up happening, you know, she had those schedules, but we needed to make the $3,000 from the oil company, so we relocated her so the oil company can do that, but then she has children playing in the ballrooms, I didn't think was appropriate. So there needs, if you decide to continue, there needs to be definitely a clear direction as to what you cannot and cannot use. I've been approached by other groups of communities that want to use the gym, but 90% of the time, the gym is being used by the Boys and Girls Club. And so other community and other civic units have not been able to use that facility.
And they're paying people that want to use it.
And they have not. Sometimes she'll block out time and, you know, just Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, regardless of if she's there, it's blocked out, and so we can't take the chance of her to do that. It has had its challenges while I'm here, but I'm quite sure the challenges were here even before I got here,
They were.
The $500 fee per year, is that what it is?
per year.
Was
Yes,
set up
ma'am.
by who?
It was negotiated by the 4A. If you look at the date of the contract, that was like one of the first meetings I attended. It was in the council.
I think-
The council did.
Wasn't that the beginning, it's always been that way?
The interim,
Less than that.
the interim city manager signed it on September 23rd,
I don't think they
2013.
paid before.
No,
y'all
before they
used
did not pay at all.
Oh, okay.
This is the first time they had a paying contract, but that was signed at September 23rd and
Excuse me.
was accepted by the council.
Excuse me, Chris, can you fine tune this, number 7 on the contract, please?
What does it say?
Lessee shall quit and surrender the premises at the end of the term, whether this agreement expires or is terminated, in as good condition as the reasonable use thereof will permit, with all keys thereto, and shall not make any alterations in the premises without the written consent of lessor. And then it goes on to if they have done alterations. So technically, when this expired,
October 1st.
yeah, then they should have been out and cut off. Now, I guess we've got a month-to-month
It's just a month because,
verbal agreement, because there's nothing signed.
because 4A
but
hadn't had a
something that
chance
needs
to
be
meet,
worked.
they were having a chance to meet, and the council hadn't given me direction as to what they want to do with this contract. This is the first time we've had an opportunity to talk about it.
It should be before the board or the council to make that call.
Yes. So on the February,
Next council.
We can put it on the agenda.
If council thinks, we'll continue.
Everyone else that, you know, is there occasionally, like, as the Girl Scouts, and there's different, and they're seldom there, and aren't they paying, isn't everybody paying $500?
The Girl Scouts, yes, they're paying.
Yeah, everybody's paying $500, except the Boys and Girls Club until 2013, you should pay anything else for $25 or something. And it's just that she's taking up so much of the majority of Vincent.
Not giving a chance for others to use it.
Right,
How is that?
and she's being very uncooperative, so it's just very frustrating.
But we should look at both sides and see what we should do.
Do you have a copy of the ballot
Pros and cons.
when it was voted on as to what it specified at the bottom, as to who had usage of the facility? I think, it
Oh,
didn't
no.
say boys, girls, it didn't say boys and girls, but it said YMCA, other groups.
It said youth, seniors, and.
Yeah,
For activities.
usage, but it doesn't say, you know, exclusive rights.
See, that's why it has to be set up with a contract.
But it seems to me like, and maybe I'm not looking at it properly, that the 4A or the city is the owner. They should be the boss. Why is a user in a power struggle with us?
and per the contract, the city should be able to say,
Yes.
Yeah.
we're sorry, we have a paying customer that's
If they
coming
don't
in, you'll
follow
need to.
them,
Yes.
And I'm being overly
No,
strong
we
here
haven't
just
had
to
any
make a
teeth
point.
in that. Haven't had enough teeth in that.
Who doesn't have the teeth?
I'm just coming aboard.
No, I'm saying somebody's gotta be the ultimate responsible
The
person.
train was off the track. We have been able to run, you know, to get her to comply and not take over as before. And so now that we have opportunity to restart or redo, I've learned some different things in reference to going forward. So what we can do is, I just need to hear how much of the building do you want to allow her to use? Do you want to limit her time in reference to do that and allow other people to use it? And if you allow, for example, the Spurs little basketball league, if you want them to allow them to practice or to use some different things, do you want to charge them a fee or not? I just need to have, because that's not even our fee schedule at all. And so those are the kind of directions that we're looking to do. The league will write up the contract however you want. I mean, if she can use it 3 days a week, 2 days a week, 5 days a week, but she can only have this much time, we can set it up.
Let's work with the 4A and the city council and, you know, and see if we can come up with an agreement or something.
But it's something that needs to be taken care of like immediately.
Yes.
Because anybody that's in sports sets up their whole schedule for the year. That's the only way they can set up the games where they go play with the other towns and stuff.
Yes.
Football does it the same way.
She has a
basketball.
volleyball league that she has, she has a soccer league that she runs.
And that soccer league is one big soccer league. That's,
There's a soccer league there, and so it comes into play when somebody needs to come inside to use the gym to practice. It's been, I mean, it's only one little gym, so it's just one gym, so that is a valuable gym time space. But
it's the same thing with the little league that uses our fields and takes over the fields and nobody else can go use them. And there's no money exchange there. So what we do to one, we need to make sure we do it to the other.
yes,
Be fair.
Yes.
and that is something that I met with the attorney, because actually those agreements have actually expired some time ago. They've been expired for more than 2 years. And the attorney, and I met with Lou last week, and we're meeting with him again next week so that we can start having those kind of issues in reference to taking care of insurance issues as well. There's a liability and risk issue, and especially when we talk about children. but the use, it is a public facility, and so you should be able to allow it. Buildings are a little different sometimes in a park, because a building has to be scheduled, and so there can only be two people, like only one person can meet, only one group can meet in this room, and so we have to have some kind of schedule. But I'm just looking for direction so that we can actually have some control, so we won't have a runaway train.
Okay, so y'all need to be thinking, council. Who's gonna be responsible for all of these things? Are we gonna, is the city gonna take care of the managing? Is the city gonna be taking care of these contracts? Is the 4A only gonna be there for when we have to expense that money for the payment of the building? What is it exactly? Because I think somewhere it's written as such, isn't it, Chris?
Right now, the 4A, from the last actions and everything that's come through, the 4A is basically just acting as a pass-through for the funds that are collected for the tax.
And nothing else?
And that's pretty much all they've got authority on right now. So if we want to get the 4A involved with these scheduling issues, with some of the management, and more than just the fiscal stuff, that's for the council to decide.
See, that's where the confusion comes from, is too. Okay, so we're thinking about that, and then you can take a note on that, please.
Yes, yes.
And when do we take action on, or get a consensus, or?
Well, what I'd like to do is meet with Ms. Debbie Ball, get clear direction, because one of my concerns, it says Wilson County Boys and Girls Club, but what I really want to focus on is Floresville, and to see what her schedule, her needs are, and see if we can address those needs.
Well, I'm not so concerned much about the Boys and Girls, but a consensus on what is the direction of the 4A board.
So,
And that would be, I don't think we have, there's not an action item, it's just a presentation for today.
Okay.
So the earliest would be the first meeting in February, we can put it on there for actual discussion and direction to the 4A board of responsibilities and duties of that board.
And we might want to hold off till after the restructuring too.
Yeah, and that,
okay, so the restructuring dates, that's gonna be April, May. For the restructuring.
And when that restructuring comes out, I would really like to have all brains included in what we wanna do with that, not just the board or whatever. I don't wanna be sitting at the board table and, you know, although I'm smart and all that sort of stuff. You know, I'm not a wizard on.
Victor Kuroka wants to have, he's prepared our financial to do 2 workshops. He's prepared to do 2 of them with the 4A and the city council conjoined, so that they can
Okay.
talk about where we are, what we're doing, what we have to do for, because, you know, there's actually 2. There's one for the land and there's one for the building.
Right.
And we want to time it so that they come out together. And I think Councilman talked about it earlier when he said the land, that's on more of a interest
That's
bearing.
at Frost Bank.
Right, but it's more of an interest bearing so that we can do the private partnership, that's the way it's set up. But what I and Connie talked about with him was that we want them to come out and be paid the same. So I'm thinking we're looking at the year 2030 and 2035. 2035? 2035, so that the building and the land are paid off together. Because there's 2 separate bonds, one for the land and one for the building. So he's gonna bring all that in and bring them together.
Okay, well, I don't want to take anybody's.
But the
thunder,
board-
but the land's through Frost Bank, it's not on the bond, what?
It's not on this bond, it's on a bond, but
Are you
not
gonna
this
put that
bond.
land in the bond?
No, but they run together. You can imagine that they run together. So we're gonna invite the 4A to come and post like you're all having your meeting as well, and we're gonna have the council, so everybody can get the table, because there's things that you all are gonna have to sign off as well. And so we need you to be conscious of that and hear it up front, early on, and read it. Take it home and digest it, okay?
Since Connie's here, I have a question. On the money that came in from the lawsuit, do we have it all into that one fund? Can it be separated in a line item, so every time that there's repairs, it gets posted there and we can see where it's being eaten up?
It is separated
No, not
in the budget. It is
separate
separated.
here?
Is
Because
not,
here you have it, and I asked this at the last meeting.
no,
On the minus amount?
no, on the budget, on the printouts, on the back, it is
It's a
still,
line item?
it is a line item.
Okay.
It's still on 570, and it's also not only separated in the budget, but it also is on a separate bank account.
Oh, that's even better.
Yes.
So what we did is whatever balance, operating balance that account had, we transfer it to our pool cash, and then we just put into that one account only the settlement money. So any repairs that are gonna be, done to the civic center, it's gonna come out of that bank account.
And the only thing that's been charged so far is what you all have approved is M&S and their charges that came up. And then, and so,
Did you find it, maybe?
No, but later, because we're
Later?
gonna. Okay. I guess because I'm looking for the amount 875. Okay, so are we okay with what we need to do for this?
yes, ma'am, I am.
Gloria just got here. Do you have any questions for Gloria, who's there day and night?
Thank you. I
Did
just
you
came
get her
from
a
there.
quick size bed?
How about the civic center?
Any questions?
The 4D was the next one. We have the list of the members. They had some newly elected members. Ray Lambert is the president, Miriam Tickender voted to her as the vice president, Jay Pullman is secretary, Mr. Kelly is treasurer, and of course, we see Mr. Gonzalez and Chris Kelman as members. The 4B, some of the, actually, what priorities, and I just listed a few, if there's some I missed or some we need to add. What do you want the priority of the FEDC to be? And Tommy was nice enough to come tonight, along with, of course, the president and Mr. We have Chambers. We have several members here from EDC. And they're looking forward to the workshop. I went to their last meeting and let them know that we were having this workshop. So these are just some things that we listed, that I listed, that I thought may be talking points.
I know we all get hit with, when are we gonna get a Taco Bell? When are we gonna get all this? Do we get any response from these restaurants when you reach out to them? What's that they're saying? Why don't they wanna look at it?
You know, Mary, you do. I think that we need to come up with a little more professional marketing campaign, not just a letter or flyer, but a brochure of some sort that could be used for multi things within the city, not just FEDC. I think it would be a little more professional reaching out to these people. They're not, why Chili's is for past Floresville. There's many reasons they say, but they will come to one firm reason. I think we're gonna have to really work with these people, and I'm not saying go give them the farm, don't give them anything, but we're gonna have to make it, easier is not a good choice of words, but comfortable to go through their permitting and get their stuff set up, their land procurement, and they're gonna pay for it. But we don't need to make it complicated, we need to make it simple as we can, make it as affordable as we can, charge exactly what everybody else pays, but help them not have to dance around the merry-go-round to get things done. I think we need to make it a place, an opportunity to come in and easily go to work. And that's been not, I say a complaint, but the negative that I've heard from different people, Chili's being one of them. Taco Bell, they're funny with their franchises, they're putting one in Laverne now. Why could Laverne never have one or not Floresville? I mean, I look for them to come this direction in the very short term. I made a trip last week and kind of visited all the strip centers in Pleasant area, Pleasant Jordan area, and just kind of went door to door, took pictures, who was there, what was there, wrote them down, and did the same thing in Livonia. And I think we can reach out and contact. Most of these people are small deals, as at Taco Bell, Caparelli's, restaurant wants to come to Floresville, AutoZone's want to come to Floresville. There's numerous places I think we're just going to have to reach out, make them welcome, but not make it difficult to do.
Have we at any time talked to other cities, FEDCs, to see how they got that restaurant into their town? They might give us a heads up. They're all looking to work with us. They're neighborly. Jordan's getting an IHOP. That just really.
I mean, the deal's on fire, and they've got, they put up a strip center that accommodates maybe 1,500 square foot units. They make them very simple. One side has a drive-through, everything's fed through the back. They're not deep, they're not wide, and they just do one, and they fill it, and they go to the next one, they fill it. They do have a lot of private money that's going in there, though, people that are willing to invest in that community. You have one or two individuals that are doing the majority of the strip center. But it is the community that's helping get them leased. It's not just individuals there providing the cash to build the strip. And the FEDCs and the community council, everybody in the city is pulling it together to fill them up. And they fill good.
How about properties in town that are empty? Have we approached those owners to see whether they'd be willing to sell?
That's kind of on a big top of our radar screen is to work downtown. You know, the last year, we've been very tied up with the Rancho Grande Business Park deal. We've, at this point, have finally gotten our funds together. The roads are being paved, that project's underway. We have our funds pretty much allocated and laid set aside to do the retention funds, which is compliance with what the county has required us to do. And that took a lot of time, though. It took 1 minute to say it, but it took a lot of time to put it together. A focus that we've had at a meeting, and of course, we just had only one meeting so far. We have new members, new board. But we have brought up in that meeting of looking downtown, trying to revitalize downtown. But at this point, we're gonna have some funds to use to try to attract these people and to approach these people and try to put a buyer and a seller together. If someone just has a vacant building, hey, you know, this oil company, this person, this office people, they want to come in. As the courthouse comes along, we're seeing more and more interest in people wanting to office downtown.
And just how much property do y'all have to offer people to come in?
We have precious little land left. There's 27 acres at the industrial park. There's a 4.5 acre tract up by the Veterans VA deal, which is basically under contract, or it is under contract.
What do we
We
have in
have
the
5
181?
lots left in front of the veterans home.
But don't we have something on 181, the one that jumped about?
We have the land that's the part of the Ohio property over there. We have that. By the motels, we don't have the frontage. We just have that. I think a good project would be perhaps to reach out to the people in front. Could be an FEDC project and see how we could work together. That's, would make a nice deal. We do have the land, obviously paid for in the back. Not saying we need to get in the land business, but maybe we can get into the business of putting buyer and sellers together and make it not so complicated.
Mayor, you know, Henrietta and you and I have talked to several professional marketing companies about putting marketing materials together. If I had one choice to ask you to move forward with, it would be that, because you can't communicate without sharing that information, and we don't have it from the city level, from FEDC. It's just not there, and we need that as step one to then go out and start reaching out with professional marketing.
Very key.
I mean,
And Henrietta and I talked about that last week, right?
Yes, and actually Tom and I spent some time together, and I met with a company who did a teleconference with us called Retail Strategies, correct? Retail Strategies. We had Retail Coach, I believe EDC did it about 3 or 4 years ago, where they came out and did a survey and study and those kind of things. Retail Strategies is a little different. They want to go, my thing is, if I can't get an IHOP, then go get me, you know, the Pancake House. I need to have a sit-down dining restaurant. That's what people have told me in town. That's what the council has spoken to me on different occasions about. Go get the ones who will come to Floresville, because we have a lot of things, but I need to be able to tell that story, because I don't have that history as you all do sitting around this room. I need to be able to put this back together, and Tommy doesn't have it either, but we need to have a professional package that's put together to say, here it is, and this is what you need to do. They want to come to present to the council as well as EDC to do a joint effort to say, here are the strategies that we can do to come into market. We're running into a little problem of some people are really pricing their property higher than what I believe that they can get on the market. Maybe someone can tell them, these are more competitive prices. But just our downtown area alone, I don't have a clear handle on how many units are available, who owns what building, and what the square footage is. I don't know. And so those are kind of things that this company can help us put in place, so that the learning curve is a lot less for me, and that we can go ahead and start doing these kind of things and have a plan for the downtown revitalization, that there is a grant out there that we can go for, but we need to have a plan. So we're hoping that sometime in February, we can set up a schedule, a special meeting between EDC and the city council to allow them to come and present to you all, so you can pick their brains and say, why us and not Taco Bell, not use the typical rings, because our ETJ, we have as many people in our ETJ as we have in our city. And so Wilson County's population is 50,000. So we get everybody to 50,000, but they'll go 25 miles because here, we're more rural, that they can actually count a larger range than even Wilson County itself.
So they go out after businesses.
They
They
will
don't
go out.
necessarily market
They will
town.
help us prepare the marketing plan, but they also go after businesses themselves. Now,
And
they
they
are,
print brochures and all that.
they will help us design them. Because, there's key things people are looking for. Those people are usually in New York or, wherever they are, the headquarters, and they have criteria, so we can make sure that we hit that criteria. One of the things somebody asked me is, do you all have an incentive? With our tax base, you don't need an incentive program. Our taxes are so affordable that it itself is an incentive program. And so when they look back historically, the tax base has stayed about the same over the 10 years. That gives them some assurance that even if it does start to increase, it's not gonna double or triple. And so that tax base is an incentive program, because typically people have to come in with some type of, we'll give you a tax cut. You don't have to have those incentives with the tax base that Floresville currently has. But how we can garner land and get people to do it, we need to come up with a plan. And so they have those international shopping mall meetings. They have one in Vegas, they have one in Dallas. They attend them, and they can help us to say that we can position ourselves to go after the Taco Bells, to go after the IHOPs of the world. And then be able to tell realistically that maybe we will get an Applebee's because Applebee's doesn't do, because of whatever reason the corporate headquarters decide not to do. We need to be able to go after those.
Madam Mayor, if I might add just one thing to what Ray said. A great idea to have a sales document, a presentation, but you can go one up to that. If you go to the bank, you want to set up an account, you get a personal person assigned to you. And if new people coming into our community not only had the brochure, but also had a personal rep that they could call on, that cared about them, that would take care of them, that would facilitate things, I mean, what a message that would be for them to take to other people. Just a thought.
Yeah, and along that same line, to be able to share the successes, the HEB here, and I know anybody who's been to HEB on Saturday, you can stand in line to go up and down the aisle. Their numbers are off the chain. The HEB Express are off the chain. Bill Miller's is off the chain. So we can take those numbers, which I don't have, clear numbers, those numbers they can put together and garner it so that someone else coming in saying, oh, I can make those, they're making those kind of numbers, it calculates to them. They took those kind of numbers, and I didn't have them to get to the corner store, but the corner store coming and this right there in our four corners, those numbers are going to be phenomenal. And so this strategies, retail strategies can take those numbers and interpret it and speak the retail speak. There's certain things, the foot traffic and EDC, and I have to commend them, did go out and pay for a traffic study, and clearly our traffic study went up, I believe, over 2,000 vehicles per year.
Yeah, 23,000, around McDonald's, Walmart, all the way up to HEB's.
TxDOT, was it with TxDOT?
About 29,000 with HEB.
Yeah.
Was it with
But
TxDOT?
the FEDC paid for a study to have done.
With TxDOT, they charged you.
TxDOT
No, it's a private company.
is a private. TxDOT is dated, all they could give me is 2012, and I got a 2014 traffic count.
But the TxDOT deals are antiquated. By the time they print them, it's old news.
So those numbers increased between 2012 and 2014, over 2,000 vehicles.
Right.
And daily. And so that's going to interpret something to a retailer that those truckers are coming through, they're gonna stop, they're gonna eat, they're gonna buy, our 24-hour Walmart numbers. So we need to have someone to put that in position to be able to have us, so when we go out to market, we're telling people what they need to hear.
Exactly.
Oh, and we want to see what their appetite to come here. So restaurants, I know is definitely,
At
one.
that same time that you set up that meeting, you could also set up the companies that have presented already for doing brochures and all that, and the visitor's guide and
You
all
know, on the
that.
same meeting?
That way they can make a decision right there that same night.
So we had agreed to workshop meetings, and I'm going back and forth with dates. I can set that up. We want to try for the February workshop meeting date, which is that in between week.
I mean, because we can do it in a workshop, the presentations, and then take a vote at the next council.
Yes, so you want to do
Because
it?
they'll already know.
So the EDC said they're ready. Just let them know what date. So-
And Tuesdays in February, 6:30 is, I think, what the board finally decided.
They like Tuesday rather than Wednesdays because, Wednesday night Bible study, people will have a hard time using Bible study.
Any days, okay.
Okay, so we'll set it up. Thank you for the presentation. Oh, and now you do know that they do come at a price tag, right?
What
Retail
comes to-
strategies,
Your company?
retail strategies.
The one you're telling us about?
They want to get paid, but I'm really thinking that, it's definitely gonna be something worth the money and the time and investment, but I'll let you.
FPDC will cover that?
FPC has indicated that they would share and partner. They did say that they would, take the lion's share of it.
You know, I can't speak for my board, but I see us cooperating on things like this. We need to, I mean, I've been here for a year and a half, but what I've seen in the files is a lot of unprofessional things. We need to start doing things professionally. We have a parks plan, we have a marketing plan. You know, we share in that expense, and that's my board's vote, but I'm certainly willing to ask for that, because I think we share together in those projects, absolutely.
Yeah, another area that Floresville can really excel in, and people are coming, if you just kind of watch what's happening, but medical. You know, there's a strong medical community that wants to come to Wilson County. We have several now, but there's, you know, where we are in dire need of a memory care. We're in dire need of adult daycare, assisted living. We have none of those available. We have a little available, but precious little. And it's a wide open market with the proximity we have to the Eagle Ford, to Karnes County. A lot of those people are wanting to move to Wilson County because they want to get a proximity, because they want to wine and dine in San Antonio, but what to do with mom and pop. They have expendable income, they're not working off insurance, they can pay whatever it costs, they just need a place to park them. So those facilities bring in large revenues, large tax bases,
Yeah.
and they're willing and wanting to come to this county.
And I think one of the things we're gonna really have to talk about is establishing a strip zone, because people wanna have a vanilla box to come in and be able to retrofit, and we don't have any vanilla boxes. The old Walmart location is what everybody's calling it, the old Walmart, where the Dollar Tree and Cato's is now, it's literally filled, it filled up once they started making that. And my husband goes up there anytime fitness, but it's always packed. And so we need to think about strategically what would be the highest and best use as we look along 181, where we need to find a strip mall so that we can provide these vanilla boxes. And based on the square footage, people will come and they want it set up. And so we need to have that set up. Building from the ground up is kind of hard, but they need to be able to do that. So we need to think about a partnership to have someone come in and establish strip malls, and then we can set up. In mind, we need some place for these 18-wheelers to park. I don't have any issues with those. So it sounds like to me, Mayor, and Council, restaurants is definitely an issue that we want to focus on. Downtown revitalization, as the county is doing all this wonderful building downtown. Park sites,
We already discussed the parks.
those are definitely, we need to go with a plan. New development business, affordable housing project, is that something that you need, that you would like for them to look into, to delve into, affordable housing?
Let me go back one here. On the downtown revitalization, would that also take, the flood control? The flooding downtown?
The revitalization typically talks about, yes, the sidewalks, the flooding issues that we're having, but we need to have a plan and then come across about how we want to address that and to be able to spend, the funds to redirect some of that flooding. Instead of, especially when a big day is, and I don't have the right location, but then when a big
Go
day is.
right around the corner coming down from Corbin.
And going down by the Wilson County News where it doesn't have the curving to. Okay, I wanna skip down to community and training development. Mr. Baker, I wanna commend you on that new alliance group that you started, helping with the online colleges and getting those welding classes going. That's a fabulous
Great, thank you.
short-term job.
Yeah, we had a great turnout.
Okay, and with that, do you have any other questions for FDC? You have enough to think about. We gave them lots to think about.
And just as a pointer, we got 5 minutes till the city council meeting.
Do you want to touch planning and zoning there?
No,
or
I
is
wanna skip down to the visitors interior bureau, because that goes hand in hand with what we're discussing. And I know that's a project that you have, that I know it's gonna.
Okay,
We don't have to go through the whole thing, just tidbits of.
Well, actually, at the last meeting, council, I want to thank you again, and if I was over the top, it's only because I'm so excited about that project, that you did give birth to it, it now exists. Now, I'm reaching out to each one to have a representation, I did cut it down, oh my gosh, what am I did cut it down to the number that we need to have,
7.
7 instead of the 15 that I initially started with. To be able to do that, but my, before the event, 7 members, made up of 2 representatives, so in the ads that we're putting out, we're asking, because 2 representatives from the council would put on that board, that'll be in the advertising to say, hello, you know, if you want to do this, it's a brand new board, and I believe, the advertising for the board, so you would have a weighted vote of 2. The Chamber of Commerce would send a representative, FEDC would send a representative, the school district, Wilson County, and the hospital. Then this board would come together and help brainstorm, just like you are doing tonight, say, these are the focus, this is what we want to do. Going back to social media, that we need to be able to talk about, putting a brochure together. I shared some that I found with Councilman Tejada the other day that I found in my office, that we need to have those brochures that people can take with them, that they can pass out, that would be in the hotel. They would put that together, and then bring it to the council to approve. That would be my idea. Funded by, what's that motion?
Yes. If we can, the problem that we've got here is the same problem we've had from the beginning. And as long as it's made up to bring people into the community, then hotel occupancy tax is fine to fund it with. So that just needs to make sure to be the focus, is to bring people outside into the city of Floresville.
Instead of motel.
Yes.
So the advertising and the signage and the marketing and all those things, hotel, motel, the beds, those kind of things, they would want to focus on, that would come back to the council for final approval, but those are the kind of things they can do. And so we want them to work with the other boards as well, but that would be their main focus. And that's why EDC needs to be in their board, because the same brochure that I'm bringing people to town is the same brochure he wants to have as well.
How long before you have this board in place?
This board should be meeting, hopefully, their first meeting